All right, here we are. We're sitting with David Kobler, a keynote this year at the Life Changes Be Ready Preparedness and Gun Expo. David, we're so grateful that you joined our expo.
Awesome.
Like I've said in introducing you this weekend, one of the comments I've heard at our first expo, this is actually our second, was if you could just get SouthernPrepper1 here. And so that became my goal. We're thrilled that you're here. I know our attendees love you. And just wanted to get your thoughts on our expo. I haven't really had a chance to sit down and ask you that, and just see what you think of Floridians. Your first time in Florida,
yes,
too.
first time.
So just get your thoughts on
It was a great time, well organized. I've been to a lot of conferences. This one was flawlessly organized, so that was always good. The attendees wanted to learn. You can tell that by just the questions. After you're done speaking, just constant questions. So people want to learn. So definitely this is a needed thing in the community here. People have a desire to learn about preparing and taking care of their family.
I know you're doing a lot in the South Carolina region. You know, I mentioned on other little interviews that we're doing that our mission is to educate and train people, to awaken people to the need for preparedness. And that's what we feel like we've been called to do here in Florida. And we're finding that Floridians want to learn, just like you said. It's just incredible. They're very engaging, asking good questions. Have you had a feel of how many are beginning preppers and how many are like far into it? Have you gotten a feel from the people that you've talked to?
Yeah, there was some beginner preppers here, but a lot of people had serious questions that would only come from a person that's been prepping for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's probably both here, but there's people with some serious hard questions, so they've been thinking about prepping.
Okay, good. And you are working on, for lack of a better term, I'm gonna call it a preparedness community where you live.
Yes.
Now, go ahead.
I'm working on that, trying to get people interested in it, trying to get people to, they might not be able to move, so if you can't move, do what other people are doing that found, to be a success. Organize your neighborhood,
Right.
get people involved, because if you can't move, whatever crisis happens, you're gonna have to, live where you are.
Right,
So make the best of it.
that's right. And that is a little bit about the community and again, families. We've tried to do that where we live too. We feel, right now we're in Florida and this is where our children are here, got 3 in college. I don't see us moving anytime soon, but we're trying to educate all those around us. So we're around like-minded people. So Mark, you have a couple questions?
I do. David, you did your Minuteman series, which is very, very popular on YouTube. What inspired you to start that?
A lot of people that are not prior military have lots of basic questions. Basically, an infantry soldier, you learn a few things. Shoot, move, and communicate. Shoot, move, and communicate. If you can do those 3 things, you can protect your family, you can protect your neighborhood. So people want the basics, and that's what I'm trying to offer them. Hey, this is how you start. Learn how to do these basic principles, and you'll be a better prepper because you'll be able to secure your family and your community.
And one other thing, where do you consistently see preppers falling short?
A lot of preppers buy a lot of things, and they put them back. What they need to do is get anything you buy for prepping could be used in a life-threatening situation. So get it out now when the sun's out and there's no problems, and try it out. From a tent, set your tent up. Figure out how you can do it in the dark. So if you do have an emergency, it's at night, no problem, I can set my tent up. From solar ovens to cooking outdoors, whatever you buy, you practice now. A lot of things you might just say, that worked great, but if I go out and buy this small other piece to go with it, it just makes my life so much easier if I don't have electricity. Practice, practice, practice.
That's great advice.
One of the things I wanted to ask you, and I don't think I've had a chance to ask you this. I know you've been doing your YouTube channel for 3 years
Yes.
now. What prompted you? Did you just think, people have been asking me questions? Is it people in your community that started asking questions? I mean, before you became SouthernPrepper1, as we all know you now, what started that for you?
Probably the desire to educate as many people. Years before that, I was educating small groups of people.
Okay.
But when you go there and you meet and you share, but when you leave, you can't share that information with others. So by putting a YouTube video out, anybody, anywhere can sit down, watch that video once, twice, get other friends involved and, hey, watch this, let's see how this is done. So just the ability to share when I can't be in person everywhere.
Right. And you mentioned one time to me that you get tons of emails is there any one topic that people, you've got a wide variety of videos out there. Is there one topic that you feel people either gravitate towards or want to learn more about, or they're weak on, or,
Yes, the biggest question I get is, I can't find other preppers. How can I find other preppers? That question I get every day. It's easy ways to purify water. That's an easy thing to do. Buy something, practice, learn it, you can do it. But developing friendships in a community and finding other preppers to network is the biggest question I get, and it's the hardest thing to do, but it's the most important thing to do as preppers. Unite with others, and you'll learn so much, and you'll be better off.
You learn a lot, and you won't be, we can't do it all. We
You
all
can't.
can't do it all. It does, really take other people, other knowledge,
Definitely.
bases, and so. But one of the things that in the prepper community is that a lot of people want to, they don't want themselves to be out there and be known as a prepper. So how do you overcome that? Like, how are you overcoming that with what you're doing, where you live? Are there those people that want to kind of stay in the background and not, but yet how do you network, I guess is my question,
Yes.
They want to network, but yet they don't really want people to know what they're doing. So how do you overcome that? How do you teach people to?
The hard
beyond
question is, after you get networking, the network grows, and you meet more preppers, and you're not afraid to share, because you're sharing with a prepper. You're not
Right.
sharing with someone that's, thinking you're a little strange. So after you get that network established, you're just sharing. Being a well-grounded person in your community, other people say, well, if he's starting to prep, maybe I should look into it. So just being a good example to your neighbors is
Right.
also another good thing.
Well, we've found the more, people that you talk to, the more, like you were just saying, the more you learn. And actually, in all honesty, as being the organizer of this event, it is such a great community, it's just prepared. It's just solid families and just all around. It's just a pleasure to see our attendees. I'm being
Definitely.
really honest, that it's just, there wasn't one event out on the floor, it's just a great group of people.
Quality people trying to learn
Yeah,
something.
yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
People I would like to have as my neighbors,
Right,
definitely.
right, and I think, for the most part, the goals are the same. We're gonna be interested in our reasoning. We're doing a survey as to why
Mhm.
people prep. I'm really anxious to see the results. Let me ask him, and ask one of our other speakers. We have a survey going, I don't know if you were aware of it,
I
but
haven't seen it yet.
it's just a simple card at the door,
Mhm.
no name attached, email, phone number, anything. Why are you preparing? And we've got about 5 things down there.
Mhm.
And one of them is government overreach or intrusion. Another one is an economic collapse, natural disasters, and terrorist attacks. And I forget, or other, I think might have been one of them. What do you think it'll be?
I prepare for everything, but I think the most likely that will have a huge impact on my family is an economic collapse. So by preparing for that, I'm also preparing for every little storm that can come up. But economic collapse would be my number one.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the ones that we're going to find at the top.
I know you will, because that's what I see with talking to people.
Yeah. Mark, do you have any questions?
No, I think that just about covers it,
Yeah.
Allison.
Well,
Thank you very
David, it's
much.
been a pleasure
It's
to
been
have you
an
here.
honor to be here. I've enjoyed it. Thank you.
Thank you.